So this section is all about finding the LCD. And once we know how to find the LCD, then we're able to add and subtract. And so what is the LCD? Suppose I ask you, what is the LCD of 8 and 12? And think about that. And do you get 24? So what exactly is the LCD? Okay, let's write that down. So here's the formal definition. The LCD of two or more numbers is the smallest number that each of the numbers can divide into. 24 is the smallest number that 8 can divide into, and 12 can divide into. So let's look at a couple of very simple examples, okay? So we want the LCD of these two monomials. We want the smallest rational expression that they will each go into. Well, if you look at 6 and 15, the smallest number that they both go into is 30. Now, x squared and x to the fourth, the smallest power of x that they will both go into is x to the fourth. And if we look again at y cubed and y squared, the smallest power of y that they both go into is y cubed. And really what we were doing here is just picking the highest exponent on each of the same letters. Okay, let's keep going. So in this case, if we're finding the LCD of these two polynomials, what we need to do is factor first. So we have x minus 3, x plus 3, and we have x minus 3, x minus 3. And so everything that's in the parentheses we think of as a chunk. And so the LCD, in this case, remember we're looking for the smallest thing that each of these will go into. So we need an x minus 3, and we need an x plus 3. But really, if you think about this, the exponent on x minus 3 is 2, and so we have to pick the biggest one. There we go. Now, just to make sure you get it, this goes into that x minus 3 times. In other words, we have to multiply this by x minus 3 to get the LCD. And this has to be multiplied by x plus 3. So that's the kind of thinking you need to do on these problems. So take a look at this problem and see if you can figure out what we're looking for. What we want to do is try to figure out what this is going to be up here. And the way you do that is you say, okay, going from here to here, what did I multiply by? So if you look at the numbers, it looks like I multiplied by a 3. Going from a to the 5th to a to the 7th, that was 2 more a's. B squared stays alone, and we need 4 more c's. And so what I multiply by on the bottom is exactly the same as what I have to multiply by on the top. So if I take 4 and multiply it by that, what I get is 12 a squared c to the fourth. And that's the kind of skill that we need to build up as we start looking at LCDs and adding and subtracting. So our task here is to take these two rational expressions and write them with the same denominator. And that's all about the LCD. And so the first thing we have to do there is factor them. So let's do that. I'll rewrite these in factored form. Okay, so now I've written each of those expressions in factored form. So now we ask the question, what is the LCD? Excuse me. So we need a x minus 4, we need an x plus 3, and we need an x plus 1. So that's the LCD, and that's what I want to put on the bottom of each of these. So the first one I'm going to use x minus 4, x plus 3, x plus 1, and the same thing on the next one. X minus 4, x plus 3, x plus 1. And now I have to ask this really, really important question. Going from, in fact, let me use a color here. Going from here to here, what did I multiply by? And if you look at that, you see you multiplied by x plus 1. So I take that original top, which was 3x plus 1, and I multiply it by x plus 1. Okay? And now I have to do the same thing here. So if I look at this expression, and I go down to here, what did I multiply that by? Well, it looks like it's a x minus 4. So I have to multiply the top by x minus 4 also. And there we go. And so now I've written each of these with the same denominator, and that's the whole important skill that you need when you're going to be adding or subtracting rational expressions. You need to be able to write them with the same exact denominator. All right, so see you next time, and we'll keep practicing.